How's it going, everybody? We hope you all had a good Christmas and you're about to have a good New Year. One of the things that we haven't made a video in a long time because we've just been super busy with life. We still build a lot of things, but we haven't had a lot of time to add to our channel. One of the things we got for Christmas was this hydraulic boxing bot set from Thames and Kosmos. If you look back on our channel, you'll see that we built a cyborg hand a while back, and that was kind of a hit. We looked at a lot of their available kits, and the boy did ask for a Rock'em Sock'em robot set for Christmas, but this thing showed up under the tree. We did go ahead and build one of them because we wanted to be prepared for the video, because this did say like a 6 to 8 hour build time, which we felt like, well, it would be a little much to build both robots. So we just built one to see how it would go, and we'll build the second one. It comes with a scoreboard, looks like for each opponent, so it's going to play like a game. It has a cool kangaroo face. We actually put him on there. It was pretty cool. Maybe we'll put him on the next one. You can interchange the faces. It's really cool because it has side-to-side motion, all hydraulic powered. You'll see there's a cylinder that tilts his body, and then we turn it around, and there's triggers that operate his arms, and they're spring-loaded hydraulic cylinders. So it's pretty cool. Let's show him how his body twists. So that's pretty cool. And you can reposition his arms, right? So you can actually manually reposition his arms, and carefully you could turn his fists so that they're down or up. Pretty neat. And it seems like it's a pretty stout toy. It's not really a toy. It's more of a science STEM kit. And I think Thames and Kosmos really knocked this one out of the park. If you hit your opponent's head, you knock his head back. But basically, in order to have more fun with this, right, we have to build his opponent. So let's look inside the box. So we already took one set of sprues out because we built one. So basically, what you get with each bot, it does seem like a lot of parts. Their instruction manual is pretty awesome. It doesn't have a story, but it does give you the parts breakdown. I remember the cyborg hand had some sort of a story. It shows you some basic tools to have, some basic tips for the adults, and it gives you a little bit of a breakdown of how long it takes to do everything. So this could total you about 8 hours, but we built that guy in about 2.5 hours. Okay, some basic tools to have. These ones here are the Gundam entry-level nippers. They're really good for a kid's hand, the size of a kid. So, but I also have a set of God hands. I want to say those Gundam nippers are about $8. These ones cost a little bit more, about $20. You need at least one pair of those. Some hobby scissors, an emery board in case your cuts aren't so clean. We ended up not needing any glue at all. We didn't really need an X-Acto blade, but a little bit of a razor blade would help if your cuts aren't so clean. Definitely going to need some sort of a Sharpie marker because you're going to have to mark some of the hoses later on. Another thing that comes in the kit is a little bit of oil with an oil well that's on the sprue. We already cut that off because you need to oil your cylinders. And then you're going to need a small container of water. And that's about it. And it starts with the head. We're going to go ahead and get all those parts ready. And we'll get them all ready. Basically, don't cut too many parts off the sprues at once because you just end up with a ton of parts that get confusing. Only cut off the parts that you are going to work with. So we're going to get started, and we're going to lay out the parts for the head, and we will start with the head. So we'll look at the sprues real quick. It's not too daunting. We build a lot of model kits where there's tons and tons of screws, or sprues, trees of parts. These are your hydraulic cylinders. We'll set those off till later. But basically you have 3 colors, and there are a lot of parts. Everything is labeled. Like this one here is going to be your A sprue. Okay, there's an A on here somewhere. There it is. That's your A sprue. This is your B sprue. There's a B on there. And then there's a C sprue. And the other thing that's kind of nice is with the arms and the legs, There are little R's and L's on a lot of the parts so that you know it's for the right arm, right leg, whatever. All right, we're going to go ahead and carry on. Okay, so we have all of our parts. These are the parts you need for the kangaroo face. These are the parts you need for just the basic bot face, which we kind of like them both. We'll probably change them. They're a little hard to pull the faces off and put them back on for a kid, but parents, it is something that you can do. And we didn't find anything that really needed any glue, and it all snaps together and it holds together pretty nice. There's one spot on the knee that seems a little flimsy, but we got it to stay on pretty good. And some of it just needs to be driven home with a little bit of dad strength. Let me see here. Just to get that last bit of that kangaroo nose on there. There was a couple things that were a little tight, but I was able to get it on. Okay, and then he can get the kangaroo nose. Push, 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 push it, push, push. Okay, that'll push. There we go. Some things need a little bit of dad strength. Anyway, there's our kangaroo face. It's pretty cool. I like it. Kind of got like a cool, I don't know, like kind of like a retro mohawk kind of character face going on there. Okay, it looks like it's on good, right? Get those eyes on. Everything is keyed pretty well. There we go. Just make sure they're really in there, buddy, because we're gonna make these guys really beat the living whatever out of each other. There we go. So you got your two faces. Okay, now we're going to carry on, and we're going to lay out the parts. Don't do like we do and take a bunch of parts off at once. Just take one part off at a time in the order. The book is really good with going about the order. You'll get confused if you have too many parts off. I think the next step is an arm, right, buddy?
Yep.
And it gives you 2 scoreboards. Looks like it gives you a couple little spots. If you wanted to, you could set up a little arena or a board, and you can actually screw these down if you're getting creative. Flip the page, it brings us to our arms, where this part could get a little bit scary because there's some gears and stuff like that, but don't panic. You know, make sure there's no burrs on your gears. Follow the red X's. Red X's don't make it look like the red X's, okay? Again, we're just gonna go on through. We're gonna work on the arms. So we got our little gears and spindles. Everything's assembled, and then the bottom half of his arm will encapsulate all that. Sometimes you just got to figure out the orientation on the photos. You just make sure everything is in there properly. That looks pretty good. Looks like everything turns, right? If you turn the one spindle, it'll turn the other gear. Right now that turns freely, but once we put his gloves on and the rest of his arm, it'll all be a little bit more of a clicky sound. Okay, so now we're just gonna cap this spindle on his wrist, and then we're gonna put the gloves together. Everything's pretty keyed, so it's only gonna go on a certain way. There you go. And then your gloves have little slots inside of them. So the gloves are only going to go on a certain way too. Just like that. And the other glove's going to go over it. Okay, so that's his forearm and his wrist. So now we're going to move on. We're going to need part number B30. So that's going to be on our B sprue. And if you see right now, with nothing connected, his wrist does turn. It's a little more clickety-clackety once the arm's put together. Then we're going to need an A20. Okay. So that's that. That's why you got to just pay attention to the orientation. Then your cap is going to hold your forearm to your... There we go. Now we're starting to get there with the top of the arm. We'll continue on for a little bit and we'll let you see what the arm actually looks like. So right now that actually does pivot pretty good. But then there's like another strut that goes in here. That's going to be B8. So we'll find that strut on our B sprue. So here's what your final right arm looks like. That's it. You can kind of turn the wrist still as it is. This strut here actually holds the arm in solid, which I'm not sure. We haven't tried it with that off, but I would just leave it on because it seems to work just fine. Otherwise, I think his arm would just be flopping around all over the place. All right, we're going to build a second arm. That's the next step. Okay, just like that, we have two arms. There we go. We're going to throw a right and a left at his opponent eventually. All right, so we have faces and we have our arms. Moving on. Okay. Everything looks pretty good. We're moving right along. Now, what's kind of cool is that if you look in the instructions, his legs are actually kind of like rollerblades. So we're going to move on to that next. So there's wheels in the back, wheels in the middle, and then wheels underneath his feet. So it kind of allows him to slide around. So it should make for some interesting stuff. So here's pretty much a self-explanatory view of his legs. Okay, so we have the back part of his heel. It's kind of got like a wheelie bar in the back. That's the main roller. Moving on. We're going to work on the front. Okay, so then it looks like we're going to put that part, line it up on here. That's top of your foot, so that's going to pop on there. Yep, and we just line up our holes. Make sure it's all lined up and it's on there really, really good. And then your little wheel is going to go inside there and it just sits in the little cradle. And then the base of his foot. And the wheel's going to protrude out the bottom. That piece I remember being a little tough to push on, but you got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it all rolls real nicely. Now we're just basically going to do his hip and a knee, and then there's like a shin guard, and that's pretty much his whole leg. So we'll show you that in a minute. Okay. Boom, we have one leg. Okay, so that's one leg. It's got a cool set of rollerblades, basically. Went on good. Just like that. We have a right and a left. Starting on the body. And this is kind of cool because these are shoulders that move. So we're going to take our time and we're going to work our way through this, and then we will show you this portion. Okay. Okay, so moving along on his torso. We've already done this once before, so we're kind of flying, but trying not to get overconfident here. So let's go ahead and we'll put it together. We had to slow down because we were getting wild there. Does that look right, buddy? Yeah, that looks right. And then there's little keys that go in these holes, those little guys. And you're going to put them in there and twist them from the back. And that holds those two pieces together. Okay, so there was 3 keys there. One there, one there, one there, and we just turned them opposing of what the key is. So what these are is kind of his shoulders. You can raise and elevate his shoulders through. You can go forward, backward, and then you can go this way too. So you can actually like position his arms. So it's pretty neat. It's just basically a keyed little section in there. You can see where his shoulders pivot inside there. Okay, so we're still working on the torso. We got that part about done. And then we're kind of moving on to all this. This will be the bottom parts of his torso. Moving on. Okay, so we assembled the chest. The next little part we assembled is kind of more of his back, but it's also his torso. See how it has two little pistons that go back and forth? That's what makes his body rock. And then to knock his block off, knock his head off, that pivots his head back. So then that is going to fasten onto his chest piece. And just go ahead and put those two together. And that's really nicely keyed. Easy to tell what's going on there. And we just push it firmly and it is all together. Okay, so as of right now, it's kind of odd because the instructions sort of stop you there. But the only last thing we can do, really, there's like a basically like a stand on the back. That's where all your hoses are going to go through. We're going to assemble that, and then we're allowed to put the back of his head on, and then we're kind of stopping right about there, and we'll move on to the next thing, which is going to be your joystick. So we're starting on our controller. You start out with just your few components. Go ahead. And that's kind of like more of a decoration thing. It's like a target D6 that goes on top. Go in, buddy.
Almost.
I know you got him.
Dad strength.
You need dad strength? Okay. And then boom. But anyway, what I was getting at, don't press that in because you need to push that in after your cylinder is in. So do that later. All right, continue with the other parts, buddy. Okay, and then there's kind of like a thumb grip right there. All right, so we'll continue on our controller assembly and we'll let you see what that looks like. Okay, so again, this thing is going to hold some hoses. In the instructions, it tells you to push them together and click. You know what, leave them open for now because I had to pull them back apart later.
There.
Okay, watch this. It's going to be like magic now. That's why it's really important not to get ahead of yourselves. Yeah, so then this goes on after it's all together, right?
Yep.
Looks like your bump out's on the bottom, buddy. Yeah, and the instructions actually shows that being done after the rest of it's together. The first one you put the black thing on first, so it can't get confusing, I guess. There you go. It's amazing. All right, so now put your other guy in there. And that one pivots. So that one's going to pivot because that's going to control your bot rocking side to side. All right, put your back on. And then these little guys are going to press on and hold your two halves together. Okay, so that's your structure of your controller. Again, what I struggled on before because I was holding it wrong. Leave those loose. Leave those loose. You will thank me having those loose later. And then those guys just join our halves together. This thing's really well designed to not use glue. Then you need two down here too, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's that portion. Okay, next we are on to our hydraulics, okay? This step is very, very important because some people would mark this and say, I better cut those. Do not cut the tubes. We didn't do that because I did take the time. If he was in charge, we would cut the tubes. But what we're going to do is your tubes are pretty much perfectly sized where you can, this is accurate, 12 centimeters. Take your 3 hoses on your hydraulics. We're going to get those out and we're going to mark our hoses. I'm going to go ahead and expand all the ends right away. We'll do all that. They gave us an oil reservoir. On both sprues, you do have an oil reservoir because you want to oil your cylinders so that you don't break the cylinders. You want them to actually function properly. These instructions are actually pretty top-notch. We do a lot of building of cars, model railroad stuff, Gundam, and these things are very, very, very clear. They do a lot for somebody that would have built this the first time. So don't let it scare you. All right, here we go. We're going to do some hydraulic work. I'm going to start by marking my tubes. You'll see why I marked them later. And then we'll put together all our cylinders and we'll show you what those look like.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're making our first couple cylinders. They give you a bunch of little seals. This one has, that is going to be your shaft seal and your piston that goes inside there. And then he's going to oil the cylinder. These ones are going to get springs on them, which Dad will do this. So you just oil all the way around, buddy. It doesn't need a ton of oil. It's just enough lubrication. All right, that's good. We'll go ahead and put our piston in there. Going good?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right. So then that works. We don't have any issues where it's holding up or anything along those lines. Okay. So now you're going to put it like this. And then there's a couple of pieces. Don't cut that off. Are we sure?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that goes away. You're right. Just always be careful you're not cutting off parts that are... Okay. So it's going to look just like the other cylinder, buddy. Okay. So you'll see the cylinders are keyed. Dad's going to do the spring. But these will be for his arms. Good job, man. Okay, so make sure that it's seated because there are little like retainers. So make sure it's seated all the way down. And then it's not going to go anywhere. All right, check the functionality of that spring, buddy. They both seem to function good?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good. All right, those are going to be operated by hydraulics. All right, so we made 2 of those. Now we're going to make our D2 and D3 cylinders, okay? These actually have trigger handles on them, so that's going to go inside your controller. Okay, so basically that is all of our cylinders put together, okay? So we're going to take D2 and we're going to fill it with water. So find D2, buddy. We're going to fill it with water, and then Dad's going to put hoses on it. So you do it a few times, and you just keep looking at it and make sure your cylinder's full. And then eventually the ones that need it, you'll have to do the same process once the hoses are on. Is that cylinder full, buddy?
Now it is.
Now it's full? All right, sounds good. All right, so we're full. So we're going to continue on. We'll use this little spreader tool, and then we'll pick our hoses and start putting them on, and then we'll start putting them on the robots. So do the same thing with the hose a few times. So he's doing the other cylinder with the hose. Basically, you connect all that. You want to make sure that your hose is full of water too. Makes it a little tougher to get hooked up when this thing's full of water. We use the expanding tool. Definitely takes some adult strength. Oh yeah. Something about that is so satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll check out the other one, man. Nice. All right, so those work. So what's kind of cool is that there's an experiment here if you want to actually do some learning, the power of air and water. So there's some experiments in the book that are pretty neat as you're going along if you're just kind of fed up building your bot, which we are not, but we're good to go. Okay, so our next thing is inside here. We're going to get our D4 cylinder inside the body. We do not fill that with water. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That's D4, your 2 larger cylinders. We're going to get that inside of there. So let's move our water for now so we don't have a catastrophe. You think you remember how to put that one in the body, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Yep, that's just about right. Okay, so now we need C19, which is this guy. That's going to go over your cylinder. And then it looks like you need an A27, which will be this little belt buckle looking thing.
There we go.
There you go. That lined up. All right, cool. So then you need this little guy, A27. That's going to hold your cylinder in place. There you go. So you can kind of see how the cylinder works. It's moving up and down in there. All right, so we got that part. And it says we can go ahead and connect our legs, buddy. So let's go ahead and connect our legs on there. There you go. There's good snaps and there's bad snaps. That was a good snap. All right, go ahead and pop the other leg on. Then we're gonna have to do some cylinder work.
Now that I've put the little cylinder in there, the hydraulic system,
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more controlled now.
Yeah, right. It's not just flopping around like crazy. Because it's just pushing air around in there. There's no water, but there you go. All right, cool. Our guy is finally standing up. We're about 2 hours into this, so we're doing okay. Yeah, cool. That's how he's going to kind of function. All right, man. So you're going to get D5, and you're going to go ahead and fill D5 up with water. And then Dad's going to have to do some hose work again. Okay, so it takes a little bit of doing. This one is the hardest because you got to make sure his body's in the right position and everything else. Go ahead and check to see. We got the first cylinder in the controller. Check operation, buddy. Yep. Oh, yeah. Rock and roll, man. Isn't that exciting? It's always exciting when things work.
Yeah.
We got to figure it out. All right. Yeah, so you just got to get that peg of the cylinder in there. That went pretty good, right?
Just snap it?
Yeah, snap it. Yep. You can check and make sure your cylinder still works. Yep. Sounds good. We'll get the other one in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead and snap your little retainer. And then that way our cylinder's good. There you go. We'll get his arms on. We'll spend some time routing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, try some punches. Nice. Okay, pivot a little bit. Nice. Okay, looks good. Okay, so we got the arms together. All we need to do is kind of route our hoses nice and neatly. There, you give you an attachment there. You got to attach them in there and clip them in there. And then we'll get his face on, and we're gonna do some fighting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're just doing some final tuning. The boy got his face on. We decided to go with the blockhead face on this guy because he's pretty cool. We could probably go ahead and turn his gloves a couple different ways. I don't know. We can adjust his arms, right? The angles of his arms. You could bring them in, bring them out. Yeah, I think you want tighter arms. Yeah, something like that. That's probably pretty good. All right, let's see how he works. Nice. Oh, yeah. That's cool stuff right there. You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went ahead and took some time. We put the kangaroo on they're calling it orange, but it looks kind of red to us. I don't know. Maybe it's because we don't live down under. But we like doing the kangaroo on here. What do you think? You want to do some playing for a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get your little sister involved. She's a fearless one. All right, let's fight.
Okay.
That thing's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, tap gloves gently. I want a good clean fight. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, he knocked her head off right away. All right, score 1 for the boy. Oh, they're in it. They're fighting hard. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the raccoon. Yeah, I think sometimes if you're pushing too hard, it wants to knock it over.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. It's a really cool toy. All right, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Round 3. Oh, get him. Squeeze the other one. Squeeze it. Squeeze it.
No.
Get in there. Punch him. Oh, Evan with the knockout. Oh, my goodness. 3, 2, 1, go. I think she's very aggressive. She just gets right in there. Punch, 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 punch. Okay, break them up, break them up. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wow, the girl straight for it. She got him. Big knockout. I don't think he's coming back up from that one. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wow, she goes straight for the... She's just ruthless. Okay, I want a good clean fight the rest of the way. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. She just goes straight in. Just rough stuff. Oh my goodness, she's throwing elbows. It's out of control. All right, back up, back up. Back up. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, she knocked her own head off. Is that fun, guys? Yeah. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah, one for Dad. All right, here we go. Ready, tap gloves. 3, 2, 1, go. Where are you going? It's a boxing match.
You got a punch.
Oh,
both of you.
Score. It was like we knocked each other out. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah. Straight
right away.
Straight in with the uppercut. What does Dad have? 3?
Yeah.
3 to 2.
1.
3, 2, 1, go. I gotta get up. I got knocked over. Oh yeah, that's the thing. If you do too much of that, I think you knock your own head off. So what do I got? 4. Scoreboard goes to 6. Here we go. You can't do that to yourself. What? You're kidding. The head just goes like this, so you can't like... Alright, one more for Dad. Okay, one more. Oh yeah! Stuck in the uppercut. These are pretty cool. Way better than Rock'em Sock'em. Alright, I'm sure you're going to get better at this. You're going to practice when Dad's got to go back to work. Red is the winner!
Get him!
That's not very sportsmanlike.
Got a punch right in the face.
Right. So that's it. That's the Thames and Kosmos. Thames and Kosmos boxing robots. That was a pretty fun build. What do you think, buddy? Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Did you have fun building, Dad?
Yeah.
Did you get to try it too?
She did. I'm sure she's going to want to play with
great.
them more later. They're cool.
3, 2, 1, go.
The girl's fierce. Oh my goodness. She almost got your head knocked off. Oh, she got you. Oh yeah.